Some women are simply born rich, confident, and naturally magnetic to their desires. Let's be clear, this podcast is not for them. However, if you're a soul-driven, visionary, or entrepreneurial woman who's been on a mission to learn how to create a better future bursting to come out of you, welcome to my world. I'm Jo Warwick, and this is Rich, Sexy, and Free. I've dedicated most of my career to helping women get to their core power and unlock the missing pieces for their own unique success. You may already know me as the author of The Big Book of Love. With 30 years experience in psychology, embodiment, manifesting, and energetics, we will be exploring together the keys to becoming rich, sexy, and free. So if this excites you, don't forget to like and subscribe on your favorite platform so you can stay up to date with the podcast. Welcome to today's episode of Rich, Sexy, and Free. And I'm so excited. Today I have with me Taylor Lee, and I can already tell you this is going to be a super fun conversation where we're going to definitely be diving into some meaty subjects. So hold on to your seats. There's going to be some transformations, I expect, even being in our energy. So welcome, Taylor. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. Hi, everyone. I am Taylor Lee. I'll keep the intro pretty simple and you'll learn a lot more about me today, I feel like. But to sum it up, I'm a business mentor. I work mostly with other coaches in all different types of niches, and I help them scale their businesses to multi 6, 7 figures and kind of a just mix of everything, the strategy and the messaging, but also definitely a lot of the energetics as well.
I love that. I was just sharing with Taylor because I was part of Taylor's small container, 8-day container last week. And I was just saying how much I was laughing because we're so similar in what we say and the energy. And I was like, it's like listening to me. And we were just chuckling about the fact that we are the same human design we have different authorities, but we're both 4/6 projectors. And isn't that a wonderful coincidence? It's such a great way for us to maybe kick off I love talking about human design, but particularly about how you lent into accepting the permission slip of knowing your human design, that actually your success is in who you are already.
Oh man, learning about my human design was really interesting because I feel like especially, I mean, I think all the types do this, but I feel like as a projector it's like, wait, I have to wait for the invitation and I have to like only work 4 hours a day. And so for me it's been like not taking things so literal and like using it to find rules, but really finding the like empowering parts in it that resonated and letting it both validate but also fuel me of like, oh, this is my unique way of being and my unique way of working. Like instead of feeling like, okay, I can only work for 4 hours a day, it's like, no, actually, I am someone who, when I am like up and moving and working, like I am really, really productive. I don't need as much time as maybe other people do, which is fine. But for me, it's given me permission. Like that's just one tiny piece, right? But like, okay, it's safe to relax. I think in the 4/6, I'm not a human design expert by any means, but I have done many different like projector and human design things for myself. Um, which one is it? The 4 or the 6? I think I have no idea, but like the role model, like
The
it's kind
six.
of the 6. Okay, cool. I thought so. That one has been really interesting too because I've always felt like that being like the oldest sister and then getting into coaching. And for me, it's been like instead of trying to follow all these role models and be more like other people, it's like just letting myself be the permission slip. That's what I teach a lot with content instead of taking like how to be an authority in your content and like that type of thing. It's like really let people into how you do things. And also like I think some of the best content that people really love right now is like, what do I not do? Right?
Yeah.
What rules do I break? You think you have to be type A to be a really successful business owner. It's like, well, I'm type B and I don't follow a to-do list or like those types of things. Like people love it. And I don't think it matters what human design type you are. I think like really leaning into that is so powerful.
I love that. And actually, that's the truth, of course, of being a projector is that you see things before people and you see
Yeah.
the bigger picture. And I have to say, for me, it has been the biggest permission slip.
Yeah.
I was already saying these things, I was already doing these things, but I always felt like I was wrong. Because
Yeah.
I was like, I'm ahead of the curve and I'm always like ahead of what anybody else is doing. And it was like, but actually it's gone, oh, but that's the way I'm made. And
Yeah.
that's the purpose. And that's the point. And it was just like taking off a coat of going, you mean I don't have to fit into that? And I love that what you were just saying about the breaking the rules. I'm going to stick that behind my ear because that is the thing, isn't it? That's the thing of like you are breaking the rules, you are doing it in a different way, and it's something so playful. And I have to say, your work is always so playful. There's definitely that beautiful, playful energy, and it's like you get to break the rules in a playful way and not actually have to kind of like I'm breaking it, I'm fighting against it, which is also like that kind of rule of that's how I
It's
have
like
to do it.
not forgetting the fact that I feel like humans are like our souls are here to play as well. Like I think we're here to learn lessons and grow and unlock that next level, but also like we came here in a really funny time in a really funny
Yeah,
world and like why not like lighten up a little bit and just be
yeah.
human and like anything you do with me you'll learn this very quickly. Like I giggle a lot, I laugh at myself, like I try not to take it too seriously because it's just not as fun. That's not
Yeah.
my personality at all.
No. You just gave me a flashback of I am my best friend when I go traveling, apart from when my dog was here, bless her. But I have so many memories of just laughing at myself, falling in the back of the car. I just laugh at my ridiculousness. But I also realize in that, and I suppose that leads us on to a great question. I realize that the area of my life that I fall into seriousness, and of course, then I grow and then I stifle myself because I fall into seriousness is in
Mm.
business. Has that been a journey for you?
Yeah, in business and in with money, like there has been a lot of lessons for me to learn over and over again. And it's exactly what you're saying, like starting to take it a little too serious, or it's fun that we started with the human design conversation because it's like starting to try to I have had this pattern come up of like trying to be more like someone else because
Mhm.
they have what I want. And then the lesson always in that is like, no, that's not how you're supposed to be doing this or creating this at all.
Yeah. I love asking the question around failure because I think there's no such thing as failure really.
Yeah.
But what has been the ultimate moment when you've gone, fuck, I ballsed that up?
Oh gosh, I've had a lot. I think failure is my favorite conversation too. I'm like, and here's how I messed up, and here's how I messed up, and here's how I messed up. Speaking of like business and taking things too seriously, for me, and I've done this a few times, it's like I notice this pattern where it's like, okay, I would build my business back up through like fun and doing what felt good and doing what I wanted to do and like again like playfully breaking the rules. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm finally in a good place again. And then I would go hire a coach who teaches for me it's funnels. Like that's been my vice.
Ah,
Like, okay, and now I'm going to have a funnel and I'm going to run ads to it and like then I have taken it way too seriously and I mean still all my people know it's like I've yet to have a funnel that has worked because when I've tried it it's like all of a sudden I take like usually when I write my content, like it's very riffy and flowy and it's definitely my voice. And then I do the funnel and I'm like, okay, let me write the perfect email exactly how they did. And no,
mm. Yeah, I've tried
no. I will say I'm recently kind of coming to the other side with that. Like,
that.
genius idea. Just take the things you've done and like just automate them. You don't have to completely change them for them to work on automation. Just take the email that worked
Good.
and put an automation behind it instead of taking an automation and putting someone else's words behind it. It's
I
genius.
love that. Total genius. And I love that. We should let people know that even in our conversation of this, Taylor's on here because she is actually very successful in business. So, for all of this conversation, I want everybody to know that the journey, of course, is the delight and how you see it. I've had times a classic I often say, actually, I say it's all very well saying, "Oh, built four successful businesses," but the graveyard behind it of failed things. That's the bit people don't ever mention. It's like the bones of things that I secretly just shuffled under the carpet and pretended didn't happen. And we tried that launch, and we tried this.
Well, that's the thing, like, I did this on my Instagram stories once and people loved it. Maybe it's time to do it again, but yeah, I've made almost 6 million now in my business. And one time on Instagram stories, I just recorded myself scrolling through my Kajabi like checkout pages because the majority of them were zero sales, zero sales, zero
Yeah.
sales, zero sales. And some of them were just like ideas I thought of that I never put out. But a lot of them were things where it was like, no, legitimately, that didn't work. That didn't sell. It didn't work.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing people don't talk about enough. And it's, what I was saying about content before of like, the authority thing, like I am an authority. I know what I'm doing, but I don't have to lead with it and throw people just find out. It's
Yeah.
pretty easy to kind of piece together, but I wish more people were talking about the fact that there are so many failures and
Yeah.
like we're here to play and have fun, but also yes, we're here to learn lessons. And so I think everyone, whether they share it or not, is in similar cycles, right? Like, I mean, for me, that's been such like a relief to learn about, like in my own spiritual journey is like, we literally do like I always am doing this whenever I teach like anything because it's a cycle. It's
Yeah.
you're not broken and an idiot and
No.
stupid because you like repeat a cycle. It's like that's literally what we do. And you can
Yeah.
break cycles, of course, but it also doesn't mean that you're horrible or dumb or broken if you do repeat some cycles. It's like literally life. It's what we do. So it's not
Absolutely.
as serious as we make it.
No, it really isn't. And actually, it's also so I talk about it like this way because it is a cycle, but the energy itself is a spiral that goes up.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah. I love
spiral of
that.
life. And so, although you are repeating things, I was only talking about this morning with my coach because I was laughing. We were talking about it last night. The more that I get more and more into human design, the more I'm laughing because the more I'm aligning back to the thing I was actually teaching about 10 years ago.
Literally.
But it's on a new level. And it's like, but I went away and learned all of this stuff so that I might be talking and saying similar language, but the women I'm talking to are on a whole new level of elevation, the same as I am. So it might look the same, it might even sound the same, but actually the frequency behind it is completely different. And
So
I think that's the thing, isn't it? There's nothing wrong with the cycle if you recognize that your snakes and ladders, which is Indian, was based on karma. You know, that's exactly what we're doing. We're going up and we go down and we go across, and But I think, as you say, as a game, it does lighten the load, doesn't it? It's yeah. However,
yeah.
what would be one of the greatest limiting beliefs you've had to overcome? It just made me think of that thing because often we repeat those cycles because we've hit a glass ceiling because of our own limiting belief we haven't moved beyond. Mine, hands up, has been around my dad, has been around the masculine telling me I should be this way, which completely made as a projector for one, totally not meant to fit into any of that. So I'm curious, what's been maybe something you have had to repeat quite a few times to step out beyond?
Oh, man. I mean, I think there's a few, but I think the one that's popping up the biggest, I have my own around my parents as well. But for me, it's always going back to this belief of like limitlessness. And so the limiting belief would be like, I can't have what I want now.
Hmm.
And I almost didn't want to share that one because I was like, no, I like that you said that about your dad. I'm like, oh, I have so many things. But it is about my upbringing because that's exactly how it's like, I need new shoes. No, you don't. Your shoes are fine. I need a new outfit. No, you don't. Your clothes are fine. I want to do this thing. You're already doing enough. I want to have a phone. You're lucky you even have this. Like,
Yes.
which I don't know if I've even pieced together before this exact conversation. Like, I knew that was a thing for me of, I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest with you, like, I'm reminding myself of that all day, every day. Like, I just ask myself, like, but what if you could have what you want now? And you didn't
Yeah.
need to jump through all these hoops. You didn't need to do all the extra things. I like to work. I'm not saying don't work. And I'm not like laying back, like thinking everything should just come to me all the time. But my brain very easily is like, no, you don't get to have that because this, or you need to do these 5,000 steps first. You need to do another funnel or like whatever might to tell me. And most of the time, the things I want, it's like, actually, maybe there's a client right there, right now who'd love to pay you that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I love that. I've had to free up the thing of that it doesn't always have to come through my business. That I can
Mm,
manifest money. I recently manifested a hefty chunk. And
love that.
but in a completely different direction than if I had
Yeah.
been stuck in this idea that I have to earn money through the thing that I see. It's like through the thing that I'm working at, which is very much about my upbringing too, that you can only get it by working. And actually, this time, receiving that money made me go, it wasn't for something I had done previously. It wasn't for something, it was purely, I was in alignment. It was correct. It was a fair exchange of something that feels right and good to me. It was,
Wow.
and it was like beyond anything I'd even imagined as well. And it was just a real example of going, and it gets to be juicy and it gets to be respectful and it gets to be, and it doesn't mean I have to keep slogging over here is the only way I can get it. I definitely think that's freeing up. But then I realized for myself, a lot of my blockages aren't actually about money. It's about money I'm good with, but the actual receiving of money and how it comes in.
Mm.
And I think that's not often talked about either. People assume that how you receive and make and create money is the same thing as money, but that's a completely different energy.
Well, even the piece of the conversation I have a lot as I have clients come to me that have been doing this for a while. They've had six-figure years, maybe even multi six-figure years. Some of them have been doing this for a decade or longer. It's like the people part of it. Like something that's
Yes.
been really interesting for me because I've also experienced this is we'll have very normal business things happen, like an unhappy client or someone says something about you on the internet or a dispute, which sucks, right? And maybe it put you in a bad place, or maybe it just made you feel unsafe, like whatever the truth of the matter is. I will have clients come to me who will be like, yeah, it happened 3 years ago, and now I'm getting over it. But it's like they've had to do like a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's like this people thing. And for me, like another thing I've had is like this abandonment wound. And so I think a lot of other people have that too. So a small person thing that's, oh, like, girl, that happens. You'll get disputes or you'll have an unhappy client, or that's just business. It's inevitable. Sometimes we can just take it so personal and make it like
Yeah.
really rock our like our feeling of safety, because
Absolutely.
it's really there's something deeper that it's like bringing up for us or reminding us of. And yeah, I'm really big on talking about the shame of things too, because then it's, I don't know why this is bothering me so much.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, you just go a little deeper and I think you'll see why it's bothering you
Yeah.
so much.
And it
No?
always comes back to very similar things. And it might not be similar to somebody else, but it will be a similar theme in your life
Yeah.
that comes from it. And it's interesting because you mentioned that your authority is emotional and mine is sacral. Now, one of the areas I constantly have to clear up in my body is my emotional center, my sacral,
Mm,
because these are the areas that I feel other people's energies so much. And that's been that learning
mm,
of, that's not mine. That is not mine. Stop. And so if I go on social media and things like that, I can pick up other people's shame so quickly, their shame,
wow.
their fear. And I'm like, makes me exceedingly good at what I do, but it can pull me. It's almost, I can feel it. It's almost like standing on the edge of a black hole going, we can stand here, we can stand here. No, I know. Because there's just so much of that collective energy that kind of pulls you in. And when you're not aware of it, it's doing it to you. All these
Yeah.
people who think that they're processing, because we can have trauma that is vicarious trauma, is being in the vicinity of watching and being with somebody else going through it, and it's nothing to do with you. You're just feeling it. Yeah,
That's
absolutely,
powerful.
very mad. So, shall we move on to the most juicy subject of all that will bring up loads of that lovely shame stuff? But let's we dive deep into money.
Yes.
So, as you said earlier, you've made 6 million in your business, which is fabulous and amazing. How is it to be at that level? Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting this incredible podcast because I have something really important to share with you. Now, back in the 90s, there was a song I absolutely loved called Dirty Cash. Money talks, dirty cash, I want you, dirty cash, I need you, whoa. The truth is, money did become dirty and cold for a long time. Because of our collective perception and lack of care for it, it became cold, hard cash. The truth is, you were never meant to hold wealth that felt sharp, cold, even dead. The kind of money you want to wash your hands after touching, that shuts your nervous system down. The truth is, money is a conduit and an amplifier, and it becomes what we believe it is. And when it's alive with love, it flows and grows. His story with money has created repulsion in many good women who would love, enjoy, and share wealth deeply. But her body has put up a barrier because it's insane to desire something cold and dirty that makes you fight, struggle, force, and compete. It's like the worst toxic relationship and would be like begging to be loved by a drug-taking hobo. Honestly, we all know we deserve better. Your bodies know that money is supposed to be warm, soft, sensual, luxurious. It's meant to feel like home. I want to invite you to an incredible 3-day immersion that I'm running next week called Warmer Wealth. And we are going to be melting some of these old rules, beliefs, and attitudes about money. So if you've been loving this podcast, you'll want to go and drop in over at www.richsexyandfree and check out Warmer Wealth, where money becomes love and where wealth feels like home.
Oh, that's a good question. It's good. And it's funny. I have this conversation a lot with people too, where it's like, I remember thinking that once I got to 20K months, like I would just have all my shit together and I wouldn't I would never be in my head and I'd know the answer to everything and things wouldn't bother me anymore. And now I've had many even 100K cash months and it's like, sometimes I'm still like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And on the other hand, it feels really good because I do know what I'm doing and something like a belief that is very, very solid for me now, which helps me navigate some of those emotional points because there still are like dips and ups and downs and things do happen. And like, I have this very rock solid belief though of I know how to make money. And that brings me like a lot of safety because even whether savings is down or something's on a credit card or I've had a couple low months back to back, it's like I still have this belief of, okay, I've made 6 million in my business. Some of it I felt a little, wow, that was out of nowhere. I don't know how that happened. But a lot of it, I'm like, okay, wait, you know what types of things sell, you know how you sell them, go sell something.
Yeah,
And that's a nice feeling.
that's nice. Did you have to regulate your nervous system to get to that point?
Yes, around a lot of stuff. I had a lot of the people stuff that I was talking about. So regulating my nervous system in terms of even in 2023, I did a lot of work around like feeling safe, bringing influxes of people into my offers. I had noticed almost it felt like even when a launch was going well, like I would almost have this energetic arm out of don't come in too quickly. Or I was even talking to like my spiritual mentor at the time, life coach, spiritual mentor. She's everything. She's amazing. But I was like, sometimes it feels like I don't want to get too close to a client until this amount of time has gone by, which you build trust with people over time. I
Yeah, of
mean, that is
course.
just a part of it. But just what is that from? And leaning into that was a big thing for me. And also in 2021, we like completely changed our life. So we were living in Connecticut, which is like other side of the country, kind of like up the coast. And then my husband left his job. I already had just had my first baby, pregnant with my second. We bought this dream $1 million home with a nice big mortgage on it. And my husband wasn't working and I had been the breadwinner technically, but like my husband was also successful and made good money. And it didn't feel like I didn't need to be the breadwinner, but then it was like, oh wow, like it people ask me during that time, "Do you think you're going to feel a lot of pressure?" I'm so afraid to go through that because I think I'd feel so much pressure. I'd be like, "Pressure? I make so much money." No, I don't feel any pressure around money. But when that dynamic really shifted, I did. It
Yeah.
was unexpected. I was like, I couldn't even imagine feeling pressure, and then I felt a lot of pressure, and that got to me, and I had to regulate myself around that feeling as well. I feel very lucky I was able to build my business in a place of the only pressure I had was just, like, self-induced to be
Yeah.
successful and prove myself, but other than that, like, I was safe.
That's
So
too really. I was laughing on the first bit because I was laughing just going, me.
yeah.
Like, because the first one, that thing about letting people in too many, I have a thing about letting too many people that I will be overwhelmed by their energy. And how many times, and even as I'm saying it, I can feel there's still that thing of going,
Mm.
they're going to be too needy. But that is left over from when I was a therapist and also as a
Oh,
kid.
wow.
And so it's like putting myself in environments where I was constantly drained, constantly overgiving. And so learning the different way, I've now had to learn to keep releasing the defense mechanism because it shows you just how fucking powerful you can be energetically of going, fuck off. Which
I know, that's the reframe. It's like, "Wow, I'm so powerful," instead of being like, "What's wrong with
yeah,
me?"
it's okay. we don't have to tell everyone to fuck off. It's fine. And I love people. But this, my solar plexus can be this real place. I'm like, "Argh." And I'm like, it's
Mm.
fine. We're good. It's safe. I have the tools now. I'm a fucking queen. I did a thing, my last episode I just recorded is all about stepping into being the matriarch. I'm the other side of the menopause. I'm in that. I can really claim that now. I'm like, you're
Yeah.
good. You're good. And you get to do it your own way. So that really made me smile. But the other thing, when you were saying about that shift, it's quite interesting that you've never had that. I don't have a partner. And that was
Right.
always a big thing for me, that pressure of it's just me. But in fact, reframing that has been a big thing of going, well, of course, it's not just me. For one, I am completely in a relationship with God, source, divine, the universe, everybody in non physical. I have more non physical than I probably have in my physical world.
Yeah.
But also, I have this incredible connection with women who that's, I actually say, one of the greatest things from doing this podcast. But
Oh,
also going, but
yeah.
that was the point of part of my journey to break those rules is going, yeah, you don't have to have a man to do it. Like this idea, isn't it? It's so, yeah. And so actually hearing you talk about that shift, it's, oh, does that have to be a pressure? And how can I let that go? Because I do believe it's in all of us. As a woman, I can't, bless us, we've got so many stories that say I can't have a mortgage without a man. I can't have this without a man. Even if we never lived it, it's still in
Mhm.
us, which is, yeah, which is hard. Is that a theme that comes up for any of your women? Old beliefs, particularly with your clients?
In terms of this pressure conversation?
Yeah. What is there particular themes that come up for them that might be not
Yeah.
even their pressure, but somebody else's that they've inherited?
Yeah, I see a lot of the women I work with have families, and a lot of them are the breadwinner. They have all types of different situations, though. I think that pressure, it's just, I don't know if it's an emotion, but it's just a feeling, right? It's just an energy because I have clients in all different types of situations, and sometimes you can so clearly see because you're not in it. You're
Yeah.
like, there's no actual real pressure. And even when there is, I loved that reframe you gave. It's like even the pressure that I felt, which was on paper valid. It was like, yes, you are the one paying all the bills now. Like,
Yeah.
yes, it is all on you, like in terms of, yeah, where the money's coming. But also, even that didn't have to be
Yeah.
the belief. It didn't have to be how it actually felt. But I see this come up with people who have plenty of money in savings, plenty of money coming in, but it's just it's just programmed into us, and this feeling of it's never enough. Or I had 3 babies back to back pretty quickly, and the first one I was just, like, very adamant that, like, "This isn't gonna affect my business," and da, da, da. Then I was very humbled, but it also led to my biggest up level in business too. But then my second, I was like, "No, I wanna take a maternity leave." And again, people are like, okay, you're gonna automate your business. You're gonna have all these funnels. You're gonna build all your MRR. It was like, I actually think I just kind of want to slow down in my pregnancy, pause postpartum, and then get back to it. And I had that belief of I know how to make money. Like I can take a break. I had savings, but I knew it's like I wanted to use my savings, which is what
Uh-huh.
it's there for.
Yeah.
But I noticed this little bit of, but you're not supposed to use your savings. You're not supposed to that's it's like something where I mean, I was taught, like, you put it in there and then you don't touch it, and I had to, like,
Yeah.
literally talk myself through that of, then why did you put it there if you're never allowed to touch it?
Yeah.
Like, it's just what is it then? And so, yeah, that was a conversation I've had with a lot of clients of your savings is there to use. One version of you who's in the energy of overflow and,
Yeah.
like, smart financial moves, she puts it there, and then another version of you for any reason who, like, needs it, which really
Yeah.
wasn't the truth. It was like, one, I wanted to use it,
Yeah.
uses it. And I'm like, "Thank you, past version of me, for building that. That was really nice to have." And then now, like you and I were just talking about, like, when we met, I had a 6-week-old baby. I'm like, on my boob all the time. Like now it's a little bit different, a little, but still it is a lot different than a 6-week-old. And so now I'm back in a version of okay, putting some money aside, saving, and there will be a time where I get to use that money. Like what? Why are we putting it there anyway? So that
Absolutely.
it's there's so many things we have to rewire our brain around. Shame is like shame, pressure, all these pretend rules, like the rule you're not supposed to touch it. Okay, why? Oh my gosh. I feel like it's like constantly looking at these and being able to laugh at it, like looking at these
Yeah.
little beliefs and giggling at them and reframing them and taking the shame out of them and giving ourselves the permission of, okay, it's all good.
It's
I
all
see
good.
it with debt too. Like Forever. There was, like, this couple of years where it felt like every client I had this thing of pay off all my debt. I wanna pay off all my debt, and that great, that's a great goal. I love that for you, but I don't think they really wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that was actually exciting for them to pay off all their debt. I
Mm,
think they just felt bad having debt. And so it's like
yeah.
you're saying your number one desire is to pay off your debt, but really it's just your number one shame. You actually want to have some spending
Mm,
money and have some money in savings and like pay your credit card bill, but like I'm just making up a random number. Let's say it's 25,000. Like I don't think it's very exciting for you to take $25,000 and pay off your card.
yeah.
I don't think they would actually enjoy it. So it's and I've seen people be so stubborn around. They're like, "No, I need to pay it off." And I'm like, "Okay." But it's not I'm sure you've seen this. It's like you need something that moves you. It's fine. I
Yeah.
was thinking about that for myself last night. I'm like, "Okay, I've got this and this. What's moving me next? What's exciting?" I have goal. I want a little bit more in savings. I want to pay a couple things off, but that's not moving me.
No.
You know what I mean? It doesn't feel rich, sexy, and free. It just feels
It
like I need to
doesn't.
do that and be a smart businesswoman.
Well, and the irony, I still remember reading Richard Branson's autobiography. And I mean, and learning from him and from Rich Dad Poor Dad and all of those things about the fact that they run millions of debt
Yeah.
because they don't see it. It's the difference between good debt and bad debt. And I've played both.
Yeah.
I've played both, and I'm also aware for myself, it's instead of learning how to use an asset that pays off debt. So it's
Mhm.
working and it's moving and you're not actually engaged with it. It's just, oh, thanks so much for that money that is flowing from somewhere else. And that it was just a loan and it's thanks for that time in my life. And now it's being paid by something else. And I'm just not, it's a vehicle gets to pay it off. And I think that really frees it up. But I think also there is a deeper thing. I think also that thing of debt, of wanting to be free of the person you were who created it. And I
That's
think,
powerful.
yeah, and I think it's that thing, isn't it? I want to be free of that person who has, as you said, the shame, but I think it's also the idea that I was somehow bad that I had to use that money. But you can't, you have to grow and expand. There has to be more money. And if you wait, if you wait to create the money before you do anything, you'll never get anything fucking done. You have to expand first and let it come in, and you be in that different mindset, don't you? And I think also you said that brilliant point about the savings was, but in the flow of money, if money is energy, how can you have more money if it's sat in a savings account in a box not doing anything? If it's working and making more money and it's investing and it's flowing, that's slightly better. But even if it's working in an economy, great. If it's making you passive income and you get to use the passive income, that's woo, it's making so much investments and I get to play with that money, that's a different thing, isn't it? But just going, let's just put it in that box over there, it's now dead. And how can you
Yeah.
let more money flow so beautifully into your life if it's, and I've done that too. All of those things above.
Yeah, I think there's power in, like, loosening up with money.
Yeah.
Like, I get to leverage debt when I need to, and I get to set money aside for another day, and I get to invest money so it works for me, and I get to splurge and spend money in a way that's fun that other people are like, "Oh my god, like, she should not be spending it like that. She should be safer, more careful." I get to circulate. For me,
Yeah.
that's also been a big thing that's, like, hard to sometimes wrap your head around, but luckily, one thing for me that has been helpful, although I wouldn't say that my dad taught me the best money mindset, but he did have a business, and when it came to his business, he would always say, because people he would get a little he didn't like when people noticed that he had new things. "Oh, you got a new truck, you have a
Yeah.
new tractor." Like, he has a landscaping company. But I remember to us, he'd be like, "They don't understand that you have to spend money to make money. So it looks like I have all this money to spend, but I'm spending it to keep money coming in." And
Yeah.
so when it came to my business, like it just made sense. And I put my first investment on a credit card and I was like, "Okay, like that was great. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
bank." Like it
Yeah.
felt smart. And even still, I still have to remind myself that, but that is one thing that he taught me that whether he knew it or not was very helpful for
Yeah,
building
that
a
sounds like
business.
a brilliant thing. I think it's understanding what that really means, isn't it? Because of course, it's not about going out and splurging all your money on everything, but it also
Right.
means like tax write-offs and things like that. It's how to make money work. And there are lots of ways to learn about money, but people don't learn it in school. You
No.
have to learn it yourself. You have to be willing to dive in and learn it in a practical way and an energetic way, because it's two different things. They interlink, but I think it's that diving in. So let's move on to the big thing of free, of this rich, sexy, and free, and how it looks for you to live your life. Because I'm a big fan of leading your success your way, and what that means of how you're actually living outside of your business. And we've talked about your business, but what does that mean to you, more than the big house and all of that sort of stuff, but your day-to-day life that is your idea of success that you're living now and moving towards?
What I found for me that makes me really happy is being able to flow through my life. And as me and my clients have been joking more recently, I've been like, I like my life goal, which really is how I live, is like, I just want to be able to like dilly dally, like pitter patter around the household like an old lady. That's what I imagine in my mind. Like, I just do this little tending in the garden and then I go cook something and then I go sit and relax and read a little thing. And that's like how I want my life to feel. And that is really what my life is like. But that requires me to have spaciousness in my business. So I've had to rework the thought that I have to work all the time and it's like earning it, right? That's how it used to be when I first started my business. Like I remember my husband would leave the house at 7:30 maybe, and then I would sit on my freedom then was like I can wear pajama bottoms all day, but I would sit on the couch with my laptop and not stop working until he came home at 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Like literally. And I didn't have kids then, now I do. We have a nanny that's in house with us, so it helps me have more flexibility. So I can have one-on-one time with the kids. I can also have one-on-one time with myself,
Yeah.
one-on-one time with my husband. And that's another thing that gave me a lot of shame that I find with women in business. They're like, I shouldn't need help. I shouldn't need childcare. I shouldn't need
Yeah.
I'm like, you're crazy. We're actually meant to have help in a village. And a lot of us are just creating our own. So spaciousness in my business, spaciousness in the lifestyle that my kids and my husband have. So I wouldn't really call my husband retired, but like he's doing his own thing. So much better. It's different. It's a different dynamic, but it's so much better than when he had to be gone all day, every day, commute. He had built his own success, but it put us in this box. We couldn't go vacation when we wanted. We couldn't have the lifestyle that we wanted. We couldn't live where we wanted. And same thing with my kids being able to have the nanny. I know that's not what everybody wants or whatever, but for us, it's given us a lot of flexibility and freedom. And I love my home. We have 10 acres and we have this farm going on. And again, not what everyone else wants, but for me, it's given me that vibe of I'll go bring the goats a carrot and I go on a horseback ride. And I'm like, what is my life? Like, this is so bizarre, but fun. And I feel really grateful for what my life looks like because I know it's not what every mom with young kids or every mom who's working and providing for her family looks like. But I feel really grateful to have built such like an unconventional life where my cup is truly filled most of the time.
I love that. I was singing to my soul. And although I don't have children, I was just laughing because my day so far has been I got up when I wanted to, and then I had a cup of tea in my patio with my talk to my flowers. Now that my doggy's died, it's also slightly,
Mhm.
but I then cycled down to the Lido, which I call my office. I went for a swim and then sat in the sun and did a bit of social media, like creativity stuff.
I
And then
love
I
it.
cycled back. And then I was like, oh, and what I do, what we were talking about, that energy thing of being the projector is, as you say, I'm a surfer. And that was what taught me to understand about my energy flow. I was going, cycling on the bike is good exercise. I was feeling a bit funky, so I needed to go and do my exercise. And then I was like, oh, now my energy's starting to, I need to eat. And then I've got a great audio book I was listening to. I'm like, right, I'm seeing Taylor at 3. So I'll just chill. I've had too much of people, so I need to just do that. And then I can be energized for this. And if you asked me what my set hours, I could bloody tell you. I remember times when I've been a lot more, oh, this is the time that I work and this is the time. And I'm like, I tell you that some days I'm shite at 3 o'clock, but knowing like today, I was like, no, this is fine because I'll rest
Yeah.
earlier. It's the flow. And I'm trying to explain it to other people. I think as a projector, absolutely, this is essential. I think it's something that we teach others to have manifesting generators and generators, people who do feed more on more action, but they still need to learn how to do flow and spaciousness. Because I often think, if you might think I'm not working, and I used to say it, and I then thought, am I justifying the fact that I sit around a lot? But probably a bit for a while. But I was like, in that time, my subconscious is creating and
Yes.
downloading. And when I'm, as you say, riding a horse, I've been house sitting, and I've actually made the shift of moving my entire life now since Faithy died. To this weekend, I was in Essex. On Friday, I was up in Norfolk. I'm here for a few weeks, and then I'm in Cornwall, and then I'll be abroad again. And I've been abroad 3 times since she's gone. And now it's just, what day is it? It's Wednesday. Oh, I might be in Portugal, I might be here, I could be in France, or I might be in the UK. I decided to take it to the next level at this stage of my life, to have
Yeah.
another play with it in a different way, to see how much I can actually handle being in flow so much, of going, which day is it, what part of the world I'm in. But I think it is that essence, isn't it, of like spaciousness and flow. It's one of the greatest gifts I think we can teach as projectors to a society that is driven by manifesting generators and generators, or what, and they're all going, I'm exhausted, because even they can't do that.
Right.
We don't have to prove ourselves to keep going when we know we've got so much more capacity available
Yeah.
when you rest, isn't it? So interesting.
I
So
love it.
sexy. We've done rich and we've done free and we haven't done sexy. And I want to know what taps you in, turns you on, lights you up, feeds your soul for you to be all of Taylor Lee.
Wow. I think this is an interesting answer to this question, but what you were starting to say too, of how when you're in this flow of your life, what people don't understand is like your subconscious is working. Like up here, stuff is getting worked out, and having a life like that has allowed me to get so in tune with my intuition. For me, intuition isn't necessarily sitting and meditating or like
Yeah.
tuning in. It's like I get the biggest hits, like you said, like riding the horse or just walking around the property or moving my body or not being lazy. Like it's like just I feel like that's how, if I don't have that, I'm not getting those. This is downloads to me. Like
Yeah,
apparently
yeah.
this is my
Yeah,
sign
yeah.
language for downloads.
I get that.
And that makes me feel sexy, like getting these intuitive hits
Mm,
and feeling like I'm really, like what I call it is like feeling like I'm in my genius with my work. Like one thing to get the work done and do a post and get back to my clients. And that's how I ran my business for probably the first half of my business. Like the first 5 years was like my freebie. It's had thousands. I don't run this anymore. It's great though, but like thousands of people have signed up for a freebie from me of the daily to-do list of a 6-figure business owner. And it's like the 5 things you have to do every day. And I lived by that and it works and it's great. But I don't anymore because I don't want to just get things done. It's like I want to be in it and like in my bit, whether it's this conversation, I'm like, I love having this conversation with you. That makes me feel sexy and free. We get to talk about this right now, or coaching my clients. I don't want it to be like, oh, okay, I got to get back to my clients. It's like yesterday I had a client start one-on-one and she, you know how it is. She sent me so much to start. She's catching me up on her whole business. So I listened to it all and I took notes and I was like, I'm going to let this steep. And like that made me feel sexy and free. And then when I come back into that chat, when I'm feeling like in my genius and I have something so good to tell her, that makes me feel that way. And I don't know, like that is a turn on for me.
yeah, I get that. I get that. I get that. It's funny, isn't it? Yeah, I was thinking the words living.
Yeah.
Living is so underrated, but it's actually, there is a space, absolutely, when you're regulating your nervous system, when you are learning about who you are. It's so important to do the things like meditating. And I teach a lot of
Yeah.
doing like cold showers and things like that. When you're trauma releasing, somatic
Yeah.
tools do help. But nothing beats living, literally engaging in life. And I try to see it as a conversation. And why I travel was the thing it always taught me was like, when I'm traveling, I'm so in the moment. I'm fully in a conversation of going, oh, and the universe is, oh, we're doing that, are we? Oh, who's this person? And I'm so fucking curious. And the greatest thing of my life has been, or journey has been, to stop changing from that when I'm living day to day and I'm home, wherever that is. And because that was the problem, I kept going away and living in my genius and living in that flow. And as you said, getting those insights and going, fuck, I'm the most magnetic person in the world. And people are and trying. And I used to think, fuck, I literally would literally go, I think I want Bing, that Bing. And I'd be like, come home. And I'd be like, what the fuck? I can't, nobody's seeing me. I used to think it was like I'm in the wrong place but what I realize now is that I turned my dial. Like we were talking in your thing about turning up the dial, but also I was turning down my dial. I was like, oh no,
Mm.
I have to put my hat on now that I need to fit in. I'm back here. I have to behave like everybody else. I have to do. So I was talking a good game, but I was living something completely different and not aware.
I love this because for a lot of my clients they're not nomads, like they have families and they have their home and then they'll go travel. And then when they get back home, they're like, okay, finally I'm home. I need to get back into my routine. I need to get ground. I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, do not get back in the routine. Do not get grounded again. Like being grounded is great. But you know what I mean? It's like they're trying to get back to normal. It's, do you want to be back to normal? I had a client who recently went through this. She went on this trip that was like, she's just in flow and she's having fun and she's very funny and humorous. Like she's just making funny content, like just
Yeah.
fucking off and not making it too serious. And people freaking loved it. And she loved it. Okay, I'm getting back in my routine. No, don't get back in your routine. Like
Yeah.
just because you're not in that place. She even was like, do you think I need to move there? I'm like, I mean, I guess if you want, but no, I think like, how can you bring that energy just because you're not in that place? It's can you bring that energy you had in that place back home instead of trying to get back to normal of your back home. And that's
Absolutely.
what I feel like I have done pretty well since moving here. And I have slipped out of it, of course, like we talked about. We have our cycles. I'm going to start doing this from now on and always think of you instead of this. Maybe you'll finally get me to change that after 10 years. But it's I really like anytime I have slipped out of it, it's been like for me, like I need at least one day a week where it's like the whole day. I just call them an intuition day where it's okay, what do I want to do next? But honestly, I really like my real goal, which is what it feels like now, is can I try to be in that flow like as much as possible every day?
Yeah.
And we have things like calls and appointments, and we all have to do things we don't want to do. Respond to our accountant with all our tax documents and stuff. I hate doing that. Anything with documents and PDFs but we get it done and then we get back into our flow state.
Absolutely. I call them God days.
Yeah, oh, I
So
love
you call them,
that.
yeah, I call them God days. So I'm going to go and hang out. And I really do see it as it's just a day to get really super squishy and remove anything out of the way. And it is the way that I am when I'm abroad, but I'm trying when I'm away now to be a lot more open to people. So in the
Mhm.
past, when I would travel, I'd be a lot more, oh, I'd stay in a nice Airbnb or something like that. I've been trying to live in hostels when I go traveling because I want to be
Wow.
open to people. And people is the challenge as a projector. So
Yeah.
it's like letting people in. And actually, it's been wonderful and glorious. And yet also going, and now I need to take myself away because I've spent too much time with you. No, I totally get that. And it is that flow, but it is so true. And when you were saying about that, all I kept thinking about was people who go, like criminals. So if you offend and you go to prison, they know psychologically that you never ever put someone back in the same environment. You must
Yeah.
go to a halfway house because people who go back to the same environment, whether a drug addict or whether a criminal, will reoffend. And yet we do the same pattern over and over again. It is something about, I always hear those words, settling down. Why the
Mm,
fuck would you ever want to settle down? Settle up, go up, expand up, be more. Why would you want to settle your energy?
I
Because that's like
love
going, oh,
that.
I had super fun time. I had an amazing time. I had loads of abundance, but now I've had too much and I better behave myself and settle down. And it's like, ugh.
So true.
Do you want to tell people where they can find you, what you've got on offer at the moment so they can check out your stuff?
So, I would say the best place to come hang out is my Instagram, and that's where you'll always be able to find whatever we have going on because truly, speaking of flow, I really don't know. That's my only issue with podcasting. I'm like, I don't know. Come find me when you find me and see what's there. But my Instagram is at _the Taylor Lee. And we pretty much always have something either like free or low ticket that you can come dip your toes in, get a taste, see how you like it. And then from there, we see where our journey goes together. But I'm really excited to connect with anybody who has listened to this. And if you do follow me from the podcast, send me a message and say hi and let me know what you loved.
Lovely. I love that. And actually, of course, as ever, it's all in the show notes. Wherever
Yeah.
you are on any of the podcast channels, it's all in the show notes. And just to let you know, of course, if you want to get in touch with Rich, Sexy and Free, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and actually, I have just landed on TikTok for a little while to have a play.
Oh,
So all the things are rich, sexy, and free, of course. So you can find us there. And Taylor, honestly, it's been a delight and so much fun. And exactly how projectors should be, and exactly what we both teach is that it should be fun. It should be,
yes.
but it was filled with so much juiciness and so much gold in there to understand about the journey and success. And yeah, I definitely will be walking away with some ahas as well. I always love editing these because I go through and I go, oh, I've forgotten that bit. Oh, yeah, that was awesome. So yeah, I look forward to sharing this with everybody.
I cannot wait. This was so good. I'm definitely leaving with some ahas as well. So thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you to our audience, and we will see you next week on Rich, Sexy, and Free. It's been great to connect with you today. If you want to find out more about how I can help you personally, or check out any of my books, products, or coaching packages, just simply go ahead and visit richsexyandfree.com. And I look forward to seeing you next week on the podcast.